We're now moving to the living room area of the hotel suite here. We're going to focus up here at the bar for a second. There's a few objects that belong on top of this bar. The only object that we really care about its placement is the sink, and the sink is basically located off this wall by 15 inches. So if I go copy or CO and click on that line, pick enter, and then uh, drag that line over to the right by 15 for 15 inches, the center of the future sink will be on this line here. The rest can be basically eyeballed. DC for Design Center, open the same exact file from prior exercise. I'm going to grab the ice bucket, drag it here, drop it off. I will grab the coffee tray, drop it off. I will grab the coffee maker. That one's another object that gets used here. And I will grab the bar sink with the faucet. Now, here I will uh, basically attempt to put the center of that drain in the center of this this table. And so I need to trim off this line here, this leg here. I can click on that line, grab the end point of that line, and drag it straight up. And basically, I've shortened the line by dragging the grips. I can then type in for move. I can grab that object, find the center, zoom in if I have to, grab the dead center there, and move it to the center of this. Make sure the midpoint snap is turned on. Click, and I'll leave it there and I'll accept that. Delete this. And the rest, feel free to locate any which way you like. So I'll move this here, I'll move this here, and I'll move these here. These aren't architectural objects, so there's no rhyme or reason why they need to be spaced out certain exact dimension. So I will leave those here. Maybe I'll drag them a little bit further back. I'm basically checking on what else needs to be done here. This room here has a valance on this window here, and we'll put the valance from the DC or Design Center, DC. I'll grab that valance here, drag it off, drop it off here, and close this. I will move it up slightly, and it's facing the wrong direction. So I need to basically flip it over, which is what the mirror command does. If I type MI for mirror, enter, MI, not CI, MI for mirror, select the object, enter, and simply draw a line, a vertical line. Again, ortho has to be turned on, so I've got it turned on here. Draw a vertical line, it'll make a mirror. But notice here at the bottom of the screen, it says erase source object. Erase the original object. It's set up for no. Inside the brackets, it says no, but I'm going to type yes. I don't need the original. Yes, enter. And there, it saves you a step. I can then move this valance from the midpoint of the valance, and again, it's right there, to the middle of that wall. There should be a line here that's just for the window, and I will snap to it there. And then here, I need to move it out so that this edge here is flush with the wall. M is for move, bring the object, enter, grab the end, and then I need to grab this wall here. I need to make it perpendicular to this green line here. And notice here, it's finding the midpoint or the end point. It's finding the midpoint. I'm looking for perpendicular. It's going to be tricky. So rather than cycle through all the options that are available, right here, right now, I can type PER and it will find a perpendicular object. So if I hit enter and now I select that line here, you see here the green snap turns on. As soon as I see the green icon, I can launch the command. Click. That edge is now perpendicular to this line here. As soon as I see the green object, it's active. It's going to launch the command if I were to click on the screen. And luckily, it placed it in the right position. Obviously, this valance is very, very tall, so we're going to have to trim it slightly. So let's do the following. Because it's a block, it's going to have to be exploded into all its individual parts. I'll then simply chop it off here at the edge of the wall. I'll erase everything beyond. If I type X for explode, X is explode here. The explode command is on the screen. Again, you can find the icon there. But X is a fast way to type. Click the object, enter. TR for trim, enter. And simply choose the object to get trimmed off. and then complete the command, circle back, highlight these objects here with the selection window, left to right, and then hit delete on your keyboard. If I scroll down here, I can cut these off here using the trim command. TR is for trim, enter. Simply choose the objects you'd rather erase along that border, that line there. Click here, click there. Hit enter, complete the command. It's complete. Select these objects that are remaining, delete on your keyboard, and you've cleaned up the, the, the valance and curtain in that room. So now the remainder of the work is simply placing the remaining objects per the plan provided into this living room area. There are some lamps here, and I use the idea of drawing a center line to locate lamps. So I'll place a lamp there. I'll go here, CO for copy, enter, click on the object, enter, find the center, zoom in if you have to, click, zoom out, and place that center line in the midpoint of this line here. Escape. Then I can erase that line there, and I've got that lamp. There's a sofa in here, DC for Design Center. Let's see what they have here by way of furniture. There is an armchair I'll need, so I'll grab the soft chair. There's a love seat here. I'll grab that, drag it down here. There's a telephone. Telephone's here. Drop it off. There's another lamp. There's a floor lamp. That's a table lamp. The floor lamp is here. Click on that. Drop it off. Close Design Center. And I can simply start my drafting. And so against this wall here is a sofa. So I'll move this sofa from the middle of that sofa to the middle of this wall temporarily. If I can't find it, because right now it's looking for perpendicular, I can simply override the command and type MID, enter, and I'll find the middle of that line. I click the line here, it'll find the middle of that line elsewhere. Click. I can then move that sofa down. Let's call it 3 inches. And I can slide it closer to this object here. I'll simply eyeball it there. There's a floor lamp next to that sofa. Move this floor lamp, basically. Turn off the ortho. F8 on your keyboard is a shortcut that turns off ortho instead of clicking on the button. The floor lamp goes here. If you're not sure what that object is, I type LI for list. Click that object, hit enter. It gives me the information about it. This is called a desk lamp. It's not the floor lamp. I was afraid of that. I'm going to erase this object. Type DC, and then grab the, well, they call it a desk lamp. It should be a floor. See here. I guess it doesn't really make a difference. Uh, we'll use one of these here. And I'll basically move it into position. That acts as a floor lamp. On top of this desk, there's a phone. I'll move that phone basically onto the table. I'll rotate it. RO for rotate. Click on the phone. Choose the center of the phone and type 90 degrees. If it's not facing the right direction, click it again and type 180 degrees to rotate it around. So now it's facing the right direction. There's a desk lamp on top of here. Copy this. Simply place it on top of that desk. Easy enough. There's a tape. There's a TV set here. There was one over there. I'm going to copy that TV set and move it into here. I will then locate it by way of this line here, and I will move it by selecting it midpoint to midpoint. Then I can rotate it using the midpoint again. It starts to rotate, and it's asking for the angle. I'll type 180 degrees to flip it over. Escape. I will erase that line there by delete. This chair gets placed near the curtain somewhere. There is a table in the center of the screen here that seems to have appeared on their CAD file. I had inadvertently left out a coffee table. I'll draw a rectangle here, and I will do D for dimension, and I'll simply make a rectangle that is a 3'6" long. Enter. and then 1 foot 10 deep. I will pick on the screen to locate it, and I'll just simply place it there in front of that sofa. That was left out in the prior exercise. So that being said, this room is complete. There's a couple of chairs here that need to be added. So one quick step: copy, copy that chair over to here. Escape. Rotate it. Actually, I'm going to move it from the midpoint to the middle of this table, and then move it over to the right using ortho F8. I'll move it over 12 inches. Then I'll mirror it about the center line of this table vertically. And then I will mirror this about the center line of this, drawing a horizontal line. I'm going to flip it to the other side, mirror it there, and enter. And then I can slide it over basically. I'll move it over, let's say 6 inches. Or maybe I'll move it over a foot, 12. If you want to create a drawing that's more akin to what they're including in their in the project file, half this chair is underneath the desk, basically. So I can move this chair downward, let's say 6 inches, and then explode the block and trim off the lines I don't need. So here I will X for explode that object, TR for trim, and I will trim off this. Then I'll zoom in closer and I erase these lines here that belong to that chair, used to belong to that chair. And then I'll have to do the same thing for these here. But in AutoCAD, what you want to avoid is doing the same work twice. I've already have that chair located here. It's already been trimmed. I can use the exact same chair for these two here. So why not make a new block? So let's erase these for a second. Let's grab this chair here and I'll type B for block and I'll give it a name. Um, Chair under. And I will pick point here and I will pick the midpoint of the table here as the uh, origin point of the block. I'll select objects. I'll grab just that piece there, hit enter, and I'll allow exploding and I'll convert it to a block. Hit OK. That is now a block. All those parts are included into one object, which allows me to very quickly type mirror, select that object, enter, choose the midpoint of this and flip it over to the other side of the table. I can then move it to the right, 12, and I can mirror it over about the center of the table and make a copy of it very, very quickly. So now I got two chairs. I got this original chair here. I've got this chair that's under the table. The list command, or LI, will let me identify if I chose that object here, what is that block name. It's a block reference, and here it says the block name is chair under. So I then can use it in the future. If I wanted to use that block in the future, I'd either copy it, or if I cannot see it, if they're all erased, but I know it belongs to this file, I can always type I for insert. And then here's the block library. This shows you all the blocks that are being used in this project. And you notice here, there's chair right there, chair under. If I click and drag that on the screen, it moves it here to the drawing. If I click on it, it shows me where the insertion point is right there. And I can use that insertion point to move it into position wherever I like. I'm going to delete that for a second. And that completes the interior, as far as I'm concerned, the interior of this hotel suite. Okay, we'll see you next exercise.